Good morning. Well, it might not be morning by the time you're watching this, but it's morning for me. Now, to some, the intro to this video might look a little different, might sound a little different, and that's because we're using the device that we'll also be using for our face cam today, and that is my own iPhone. And my goal for today is to prove that you don't need to spend all this money on fancy equipment to feel like you can start a live stream, or to feel like you need it in order to be successful with live streaming. I get a lot of people that ask me how long did it take me to get all the equipment that I have, and they also tell me that they're waiting to get certain equipment until they can start themselves. And to me, that mindset of I'm waiting until is concerning. To be honest with you guys, when I first started streaming on Twitch back then, now I'm on YouTube Gaming, find a link to my live stream down below. I started straight from my Xbox. It wasn't even a newer Xbox either. I played a game on my Xbox while having the Twitch app going live from my Xbox as well. I didn't use a laptop or PC to stream from. It was all straight from my Xbox, sending the feed to Twitch. And for my webcam, my face cam, I used an old, gross looking, blurry mess of an Xbox Connect. It didn't look good at all, but I did it. That's kind of my goal for today's video, is to get you guys starting if you haven't started yet, or maybe your simple goal is I just want to add a face cam to the stream that I've already started. You can use the device that's been sitting in your pocket this entire time. By the end of this video today, it could have cost you a whole sum of $0 to make it look like you're using a professional DSLR type camera as your face cam. But I know there's always a but. This method may not be perfect for everyone. There are specific people this video is geared towards, and those specific people need to meet certain requirements in order to pull this off. All these things should be free. You should be owning some of it already. That is a PC that you would game/stream from, and then that PC needs to have an NVIDIA graphics card. Most people watching this video probably have one, so it might not be a problem. And if you don't have an NVIDIA graphics card, I'll be making another video in the near future on how to manipulate your background to make it look like a professional streaming setup, no matter what you're using, so stay tuned for that. If you have an NVIDIA graphics card, you'll obviously need streaming software, also free, Streamlabs OBS, OBS Studio, doesn't matter, download one if you haven't already. And then number 4, you'll need your phone. Again, free. Well, I assume you paid for it at some point, but as from now going forward, it's free. And then on that mobile device, you'll also need to download a certain app, which I will get into right now. Let's jump into my main setup, get this all started. Okay, so like I mentioned, there is one thing you'll need to download onto your phone. And disclaimer, I'm not 100% sure if this app is available on Android devices. I looked it up, there's some confusing answers. So if you're on an Android device, look for this app. If it's in the store, then you should be good to go. If not, then all right. So you're gonna go into your store. You're gonna type in Epoch Cam. You're gonna search it. And then you will see 2 options. One I already have downloaded, which is why it says open. And the other says $7.99, so $8 to buy the full version of what we're going to be using. You can go ahead and purchase this if you so choose. It offers more features to you. It gives you a more high-res image to put onto your device. But through the method that I'm going to be showing you today with NVIDIA Broadcast, it will somehow trick Epoch Cam into still sending that HD version to your stream. So for me, I suggest going with the free version. But another thing you will need to be mindful of is that it does have an Elgato logo watermark on the free version. So if you don't want that, then you can buy the full version, but you can crop your image so it takes it away, or if it doesn't bother you, then you're fine. So go ahead and download that right now. And then once you're done downloading it, you'll go to the app, open it up, follow the prompts, and then eventually it'll bring you to this screen that you're seeing right now, where it says connecting to your computer, and it's not connecting yet because there's some more things that we need to do. So once you have that downloaded, you follow the prompts, it's ready to connect to your PC. There's a few things you need to do on your PC in order to get this up and running. So the first thing we're gonna have to do is go to your web browser, type in Epoch Cam, enter, and then the first link right here will say Epoch Cam. It'll take you to Elgato's website, and right here it says download from the App Store. This app is mainly designed for iOS systems, which is why it's mainly for iPhone and things of that nature. So what you have to do is scroll down to where you can find the options to download it for Windows, as it says right here. So I've already done this. Go ahead, download it for Windows, follow the prompts to install it onto your computer. And then in my experience, once I was done, it finished downloading. It didn't pop open an app because really there's not an actual app that's going to be opening for Epoch Cam on your device. Don't worry if nothing actually pops up. But what I found out in trying to connect my phone to my PC and getting that live feed in here is that it wasn't connecting right away. Didn't know why. Looked it up, and you need to download iTunes onto your Windows device in order for these things to connect, because like I said, they're all meant for iOS devices. So it's something with iTunes that you need in order to get this Epoch feed from your phone onto your PC. So again, go to your web browser, type in iTunes right there, iTunes for Windows, click on it, download and use iTunes for Windows. Go to Microsoft Store for the latest version. And here it is. You can get it. I already have it downloaded onto my system, so I'm good to go with that. But again, download it, follow the prompts, come back to me. Okay, so we've downloaded Epoch Cam onto our phone. We've downloaded it onto our PC. We downloaded iTunes onto our PC. And at this point, you're ready to start sending a video signal to your PC from your phone. So let's first go ahead and test to make sure that it is working. So I've confirmed I have everything downloaded that I need. I'm gonna go ahead and open up Epoch Cam on my phone. Here it is, connecting to your computer. We're waiting, we're waiting, we're waiting. And one thing you need to remember is that your phone and your computer need to be connected to the same network. I assume it is, but just double check that it is. And this should be connecting almost instantaneously once you open up the app. It is not. Why is that? It is because we do not have iTunes open in the background. So we're gonna go ahead, find iTunes, open it. iTunes is now open. And as you can see, it's still not connecting to my computer. That is because we need iTunes open before we even open the Epoch app. So we're gonna go ahead, exit out of Epoch Cam, reopen it. And there we go. The second we opened it, we got the notification on our PC and we have the feed going on our phone. So Epoch Cam's up and running and is ready to go for our live stream. Well, not just yet. There's still one more thing that we need to download. That is, like I mentioned earlier, NVIDIA Broadcast, and this is meant for people only with NVIDIA graphics card. Sorry, anybody else. And you need to make sure that your system meets certain system requirements in order to run this smoothly, which NVIDIA tells you on the website exactly the specs that you need, the minimum specs you need in order to run this program. But first, let's just double check that we are getting the correct signal from our phone to our PC. So we can go ahead and add a source real quick. Video capture device, because that's what it's going to be. We'll add a new one. We'll call it Epoch. Add source. And there's our Epoch Cam feed. We can go ahead and click done. And I'm going to rotate it to be the right horizontal way. And as you can see, it's a little bit of a different aspect ratio. And that's because we have the free version. So it's not going to give us a correct aspect ratio. And you might be thinking, well, can't we just use this feed straight into here? Why do we need to download something else? And the answer is yes, you can use this if this is what you want. But when we blow this up, we can see how much of a blurry, gross mess that it actually is, because it's not giving us an HD feed with the free version. And you can see that watermark that I told you about before, as well as our aspect ratio is not 16:9, which is what we want. So like I said, NVIDIA Broadcast is going to help us out greatly with these two issues of the aspect ratio being off and an HD feed going into Streamlabs OBS or OBS Studio, whatever you're using. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this source right here for the Epoch Cam, because NVIDIA Broadcast will not use this feed from our camera if it's already being used somewhere else. So we're just going to get rid of it. Okay. And we're going to go back to our web browser, type in NVIDIA Broadcast, click on the first link. And right here, it says NVIDIA Broadcast. You can download it right here for your PC. And like I said, there are system requirements that you need to meet. And by scrolling down here to the bottom, right here, it's going to give you the minimum system requirements that you need to meet in order to run this program smoothly. So go ahead, look this over, make sure that you meet these requirements. If you do, you're good to go. Keep on keeping on. Download it, follow the prompts. Once it's downloaded, come back to me. Okay, once you have NVIDIA Broadcast downloaded and ready to go, we're going to go ahead and open up NVIDIA Broadcast. And here it is, and yours might automatically start on the microphone section. Just come over to the camera tab and make sure that Epoch Cam is the one selected. And from here, as you can see, it already blurred my background. That is the effect that we're going to be using today. However, there are others that you can use. But first, I wanna make sure that this camera is in the position that I want it. As you can see right here next to my actual camera, I have a little holder for my phone. I'm gonna go ahead and put my phone on that right now. Okay, so my phone is up in the position that I want it for my live streams. It's not perfect. I could probably move it a little bit, so I'm getting rid of this stuff over here. But for the sake of this video, it's fine, it'll do. And the first thing that we're going to do is go ahead and add the blur effect that we want to manipulate this image to make it look and feel like, well, a professional camera. So as you just saw, we have background blur on or selected. I have mine on quality. This can give you a better cutout around you. You can put yours on performance if your system can't handle the quality too well. Go ahead, click this tab to enable it, and right out the gate, look at the job it's doing. I'm waving my arms like this. It tracks me pretty well with the quality setting on, and it's blurring my background very nicely. Obviously, it's not perfect. You can see some artifacting going on around my head here. Everything we've done up until this point is completely free, so there should be no complaints whatsoever. This is giving you an amazing image with just the device that's been sitting in your pocket this entire time. But of course, we're not done yet because we want to get this up and running in our live streams. But before we do that, I want to show you there are other options that you can do. You can remove your background and replace it, as you can see here, sample background with something else behind you. Hint, hint, we're going to be using this feature in a video coming soon. You can also just do flat out background removal to remove everything behind you. So if you want that Dr. Disrespect type look to where it's just you surrounded by your gameplay, no face cam, box, or border involved, you can use this setting. But for today's purposes, we're going to keep it nice and simple and clean with the background blur. And you can adjust the amount of this blur strength with the strength slider right here. So if you only want a little bit of background blur to kind of give it a nice touch, not too strong, you can put it all the way down. It'll still blur it to an extent, or you can bring it up a little bit if you want that super blurry background that everyone desires. I don't care for it to be super blurry, so I'm gonna keep it right around here. I'm gonna put it back on quality, and then we're good to go. But you might notice it says 30 FPS. This is the highest FPS we can get out of this. I don't have the paid version of the Epoch Cam, so that might offer better FPS values or higher FPS values if that's what you want. Totally up to you, but right now 30 is fine. It'll look fine in stream. And again, this is all free. So we're gonna leave this up and running in the background and come to now our streaming software. Back in here in our streaming software, we need to come in here, add a new source, video capture device, just like we did with the Epoch Cam. We tested it, make sure it was working. Add a new one. We'll call this NVIDIA Broadcast. Add the source, and we're gonna come here to NVIDIA Broadcast, which is now recognizing. We're gonna go ahead and click done. Looky here. We have a nice, big, correct aspect ratio, good looking image. Good looking because I'm in it, obviously. And I mean, look, the difference between this and just putting Epoch Cam directly into Streamlabs OBS is night and day. So like I said, if you're an NVIDIA graphics card user, this NVIDIA Broadcast is a great workaround to not having to buy the $8 version of Epoch Cam and still get the correct aspect ratio and high def version of this image. And you can even see, if you click on it and we want to blow it up to be full screen because we want to cut away to a full screen, then you're really not losing any quality at all. It looks pretty darn close as if I was using my DSLR as my main camera. But as you can see here on my hat, like I showed you before, you will see the artifacting. It isn't perfect, but in my opinion, it gets the job done, more than gets the job done. This could be used as your main camera if you're not using your phone while live streaming. But before, like mentioned, you do have this little Elgato thing right here. It is kind of annoying, I won't lie, and the paid version, I would assume, would just get rid of that completely. But I am not falling for it. There are workarounds that you can do. If we want to use this as our actual face cam, obviously it looks somewhere along the lines of this. It probably wouldn't be so long. We can crop it by holding Alt, clicking on an edge and cropping it like so. You can do that to the bottom as well if you want to maybe crop out that Elgato image, then maybe crop in the side over here and kind of get it back to that normal looking aspect ratio. And right there, it's almost as if we have a normal looking aspect ratio, still a high def image. You can maybe adjust your camera just a little bit to obviously get yourself back centered or wherever you want to be in the image. And there you go. We have now successfully kept our normal looking aspect ratio. We have gotten rid of the Elgato watermark and still maintained a high quality image for our stream. If you ask me, I truly think 95% of people that watch your streams aren't even going to notice the difference between this and using an actual DSLR for your face cam. But past that, that's all I have for this one. If you guys like this video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Check the link down in my description to see if I am live right now. And past that, that's all I have for this one. I'll catch you next one.